Hey, how you doing? Aaron Chen here. Hope you're well today. If you're watching this video right now, then you're probably doing a bit of research on YouTube about story selling, okay? So using stories to sell your products, using stories to convince your prospects into becoming customers, right? Pushing them over the edge. And you may have heard the saying, facts tell, stories sell. Well, it's very, very true because stories just have a way of keeping the listener engaged. Okay, I remember I was I was in this conference once, and it was a conference about I think it was Islamic finance, right? And Islamic finance, I mean, finance is not the most interesting thing in the world, okay? And when one of the speakers got up there and he basically said, listen, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and he started telling his story, my ears actually perked up. And I started listening to him, and even though he didn't do a very good job with telling that story, I probably listened, 3/4 of the way through now. Okay, so that's a lot better than if I, than some of the other speakers where I wasn't even listening at all. I was just kind of playing on my phone, right? Now, if that guy had practiced a little bit more and he started delivering the story a little bit better, I probably would have listened to him all the way through. And if he had a powerful finish, and I got the moral of that story, then it probably would have pushed me into, taking some sort of action, which is essentially what, you're trying to do, okay? So, stories are really, really powerful. So even in a very, very boring setting, if you do a good job with telling your story or telling stories, then you're gonna get your customer or your listener, your prospects, your tribe, whatever it is, you're gonna get them a little bit more engaged, right? And you're gonna be able to get them to take the action that you want them to take, okay? Now here's the funny thing about telling stories is that it's not really a natural thing, to be honest, because with my marketing, and I've been online for 9 years now, right? So eight of those 9 years, the first 8 years was really horrible. I was really in learning mode. Had a bit of success here and there, but didn't really know what I was doing, made a lot of mistakes. And it took me a long time before I started to implement stories in my marketing, okay? Because it's one of those things where you actually have to proactively do it. It's not a natural thing, I mean, you might tell one story here and tell one story there, but generally speaking, if you don't plan it, and if you don't practice your stories, and if you don't think about the point that you're trying to make in your stories and what stories to tell in what situation, if you're not thinking of stuff like that, then you don't naturally tell stories, okay? It's something that you have to practice and perfect and plan a lot of the time, okay? So what I'll say is, one thing that you definitely need to do aside from planning it is I would get a little book, okay? And in that book, I would write down some of the different sort of analogies and stories that you can tell with regards to your niche industry that try to make a certain point, okay? And I would write that down and I would practice those stories, and then whenever you're trying to deliver a specific message to your audience, and you're trying to deliver a specific message, then take those stories from your book and use them in your presentation or your video or your sales page or whatever you're trying to do, okay? Because that's the only way that you're really going to be able to use a story at the right time. All right, does that make sense? Yeah, because otherwise you're not just gonna you're not gonna be able to pull out stories out of thin air. It's something that you have to think about, and you have to practice, and maybe you're borrowing somebody else's story. That's completely fine, by the way. You don't need to always use your own stories, okay? You can use stories from other people to emphasize certain points in your marketing. Right? Does that make sense? So I'll give you an example, okay? It really depends on what industry you're in, but if you're in my industry, okay? If you're in internet marketing, make money from home, affiliate marketing, that type of space, then there's a lot of different lessons that you can teach your audience, right? And one of the lessons that I like to teach my audience is that building a business, building an internet marketing business, that kind of thing, it takes time. Okay, it's not something that you can, just, you can't join a business opportunity, or you can't, get into online marketing today and make money tomorrow. It doesn't work like that, okay? It kind of happens in 3 steps, right? The first step is you need to learn. You need to learn and you need to grow your skill set, right? And until you do that, you're not going to be someone who you know, has the authority or the skill set to earn a certain amount of money. Okay, so for example, if you're a complete newbie, there is no way that you can command a 10,000 per month income online. There is just no possibility, right? And if you do that by fluke, there is no way that you'll be able to do that consistently. It's just impossible, right? Because when it comes to online marketing, it's a skill-based business, right? So until you have the skill and you have the knowledge to give value to your marketplace, you're not going to be able to earn that kind of money because you just don't deserve it. All right, you have to have the power and the authority and the knowledge to be able to command a certain amount of income per month. Okay, so for example, people that earn 10,000, people who have the knowledge and the skill set, you know, and the business acumen to earn $10,000 per month can't earn $100,000 per month. It's just a completely different level, right? So what got you here today is not going to get you there tomorrow. Does that make sense, right? So it's different levels, right? And so first of all, so coming back to what I was saying earlier, the first step is you must absolutely learn, right? So you must learn, you must improve your skill set, you must become a valuable member of the community and give back so that you deserve the right to earn a certain amount of money, okay? And then the second step is to take action, right? Is to take action on that stuff. So first learn, second take action, and the third is to multiply, okay? Be able to multiply the amount of money that you're making, okay? Through, you know, systems and teams and that sort of thing. So the story that I like to tell when it comes to, you know, building a business online is that you know, I like to ask the question, you know, what do you think my favorite plant is? Okay, now my favorite plant is the bamboo plant, okay? And the reason why my favorite plant is the bamboo plant is because when a bamboo plant first grows, right, basically you can't see it, it's a seed in the ground, right? And basically, like any other plant, you would basically water it every single day. Maybe you'll put fertilizer, okay? And if you check on the bamboo plant, you know, in the first week, nothing actually happens. You know, it just looks like dirt, okay? But with other plants, you can actually see the roots already starting to grow, right? So you know, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, you're still watering your plant, and actually nothing happens, okay? The bamboo plant doesn't start growing until much later on. And the funny thing about the bamboo plant is it looks like nothing's going on and that it's probably dead and it's not actually growing, okay? But the thing about the bamboo plant is once it finally sprouts, okay, which is in like, can't remember the exact, don't quote me on this, but it's something like, you know, it takes 6 weeks to 8 weeks for it to actually sprout and grow, okay? But when it grows, the bamboo plant can grow like 10 to 20 feet in a few days, something insane like that, okay? And when it finally does grow, it's one of the most resilient and strongest plants out there in the world. Okay, you probably know that yourself. You don't need to be a plant expert. You know that bamboo is very strong. Like, you can't break it. You need to basically use, you know, a machete to sort of cut it down, right? And it's very thick, and they use it to build boats and furniture and, you know, whatever that lasts years and years and years, decades, right? And so I like to tell this story because the bamboo plant is exactly what, you know, you need to be if you want to grow an online business, okay? You know, you're not going to explode out of the box, right? Learning to be successful online is like the first 6 to 12 months, you're not really going to get any results, okay? Don't expect to become a millionaire in the first year because it's not going to happen, right? The first 6 to 12 months, you are building your foundation. Okay, you are putting the right things in place. You're learning, you're improving your skill set, right? You're learning to become a valuable member of the community. You're starting to create good content. You know, maybe you're uploading videos on YouTube every single day. Maybe you're starting to write emails to your list every single day. You know, maybe you start generating only 5 leads a day or 3 leads a day. And, you know, it takes you 6 months before you start generating 10 leads a day or more, 20 leads a day, right? So you're building your foundation. You're getting stronger. You're growing your, you know, you're putting on your armor, so to speak, right? Your skin is getting thicker. Yeah, it takes time, but when you finally figure it out, very quickly, bang, you explode out of the box. Okay, and just like a bamboo plant, even though you weren't growing for a long time, it was actually because the bamboo plant grows downwards, right? The roots don't grow across, they grow downwards and very deep. okay, so that it can shoot up and grow like 30 feet, 40 feet or whatever into the air. Yeah, it's one of the tallest plants, tallest, strongest, and quickest growing plants when it finally does grow in the world, right? And so just like a bamboo plant, that's exactly what you're going to be doing in online business, because basically you're building a strong foundation that nobody actually out there gets to see. Nobody sees the struggle, right? Nobody sees you doing 1,000 push-ups a day, right? Nobody sees you, sweating it out, right? Losing your breath, yeah? Getting your social media accounts shut down. They don't see all that stuff, okay? All they see is that overnight success that they think you have, right? Similar to the bamboo plant. That's how it shoots up, 20, 30 feet in a few days, a couple of weeks, whatever it is, right? Because it spent all that time building its roots and preparing to explode out of the ground. Does that make sense, right? So that's kind of how it's like an online business, right? You have to build yourself up, and there's no such thing as overnight success. When people talk about overnight success, they didn't see the 5 years of hard work that people put in, okay, beforehand. They didn't see the 300 sit-ups that they did every single day. They didn't see the days when they would trying to throw up every time they kind of finished at the gym, right? And I like to use that analogy because working out is very, very similar to growing a business, right? And so that's kind of the way it works, right? And that's why the bamboo plant is my favorite plant, because it's very, very similar to entrepreneurs growing an online business, right? And that's kind of how you need to approach your business, okay? Don't rush it, because it's going to take a lot of time, okay? It's going to take time, but when you finally break through, it's going to be so worth it, all right? And so that ladies and gentlemen, is an example of it's not really a story, but that's more of a parable, okay? That's an analogy that I like to use to explain to people that it does take time to be successful, okay? And it's about patience, and it's about hard work, and it's about improving your skill set, right? And so that's how you use story selling in your marketing. Okay, so right there, what I did was I used the analogy of a bamboo plant. I related it back to how growing a business is about hard work. It's not about instant results. It's going to take a lot of time, just like how a bamboo plant does this, right? And I related back and forth. And so, when it comes to hard work, that's the story that I like to use. I like to tell the bamboo plant story, right? So in your marketing, make sure you've got a list of things that you can tell stories about. Okay, so if you're in the same industry as me, right, or if you want to be in the same industry as me, then please feel free to use the bamboo plant story, because it's a great story, right? And so for other little things that I want to make a point about, I'll use other stories. Okay, and you've probably heard a lot of them throughout my marketing, right? So if you're watching my YouTube videos, if you're going through some of my training, these are some of the stories that I'll use. Some of them are longer and some of them are shorter, but it doesn't matter, right? During your presentation, you want to during your presentation and videos and content that you're coming out with, you want to come out with multiple stories, multiple analogies. Okay, it's absolutely fine to do that. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments below, did that help you out, right? When I was telling that story, did it kind of get you engaged a little bit, right? Even though it's a really, really short story, it's a great way to actually get people to engage in your content and get them to have aha moments. Okay, that's a huge thing, right? And if you can get your people to have aha moments, remember that you're the one that got them to have that aha moment. Okay, and when you get someone to have an aha moment and to change a lot of their habits and the things that they do every single day, you become an authority figure, you gain credibility, and they want to work with you, they want to be close to you, and they want to continue to consume a lot of your training, okay? And that's how you generate sales, okay? That's also one of the ways to generate sales, all right? So that's why stories are so powerful. So please use them in your marketing. Okay, so use them in your marketing, and I guarantee that you'll get some amazing results. So again, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did that help you? If you got some value from this video today, I would really appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up. And listen, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, you can click the red button. I'm always coming up with great content like this on a regular basis, at least a few times a week, okay? And listen, if you want to learn a little bit more from me, if you want to learn how to actually build an online marketing business, an affiliate marketing business, I would love to teach you how to do that. So you can get access to me by clicking on the link right below this video, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. This is Aaron Chen signing out.